Let me tell you something, Daddy. The Minnesota Vikings can trot out Carson Wentz. They can trot out young J.J. McCarthy. They can trot out Joe Montana's ghost if they want to, but it ain't gonna matter, baby. Because when that Honolulu Blue freight train gets rolling, there ain't no stopping it, if you will. Justin Jefferson, the shiny diamond of Minnesota, about to get clamped down again by my man Amik Robertson. The man don't just talk that talk, Daddy. He walks it, struts it, and styles it with that swagger from the Motor City. And Jared Goff, oh, he's got full ownership, baby. Full ownership of that Brian Flores defense. He's playing chess while they're out there still learning checkers, if you know what I'm saying. The Detroit Lions are rolling like a Cadillac with chrome wheels and a championship engine. And Daddy, the road to the NFC North runs straight through Motown.
Oh, yeah. Welcome one, welcome all, ladies and gentlemen. It's the Lion Villain Report, where we don't sugarcoat a damn thing. I am the villain. My name is Russell Wayne, and I am the UDFA of sports podcasting, the undrafted free agent, the Tom Kennedy, if you will, the Whitehead, if you will, the unwanted, the unfiltered, the unapologetic voice of the fan base that bleeds Honolulu blue. In today's episode, get through them injury reports. We're gonna talk about the trade deadline. We're gonna talk about the Minnesota Vikings. So, this episode is brought to you by Fanatics.com. If you bleed Honolulu blue and you're rocking with the 313, then you need to gear up like the real one over at Fanatics, our official merch partner. So here's what you do. You hit that QR code right there in the left-hand corner of the screen, and you can save up to 25% off of your order from our affiliate marketing partners over at Fanatics. Every click supports this channel and the page and lets the world know that Detroit fans do it bigger and they do it better. The Villain Squad don't do knockoffs. We do official. We do Fanatics. Get yours. Crossing over 91,000 villains on the Facebook page. Connect with me. Connect with the villain, the 313 villain, the UDFA. If you're a fan of Detroit sports, whether it's on YouTube, Facebook, or X, wherever you're watching, connect with us. Like, comment, share. That's how you can support the page. It's faith, family, and then football in that order. We use football. We use football to spend time with our family and create memories. We don't let football use us. Ooh, yeah, the Macho Man Randy Savage, yeah. Yeah, the 313 Villain Squad, yeah. The UDFA Sports Podcasting, yeah. The Macho Man's going to Ford Field, dropping the Macho Man elbow right in the heart of J.J. McCarthy. Yeah, dig it. Hope everybody enjoyed their bye week out there. I hope that you enjoyed your bye week as much as I did. I got a lot done. You know, gotta try to catch up on some sleep. Got to try to catch up on some things. But we did all of that. And welcome to the program. All my peeps in there. Let's say hello to everybody.
You like that?
That's right. Rick C. What's up, buddy?
You like that?
Davey. What's up, buddy?
You like that?
Oh, the bad guy. Got your special one in here for you, buddy. That's right. The bad guy's in the house. Mark Orlando, buddy.
You just made the
What's
list.
up? Chad's in the house.
You just made the list.
Good morning,
You just made the list.
Danny. Good morning, Danny, and the Central Scrutinizer.
You like that?
That's right. I appreciate you guys jumping on here today. Oh, wow. Man, StreamYard, you're fun. All right. So where are we going to start right here? Let's go right to the top right here. The Lions, they released Kendall Fuller. And, I just kind of wanted to grab everybody's thoughts on that. Kendall Fuller, that was somebody that when they were signed, that there was some talk. That's a good signing. We love that signing. He's got experience. But that was announced yesterday that Kendall Fuller was released from the practice squad only 2 weeks after joining. And to me, to the villain, that signals the defensive back room as being a strength. One of the reasons you go out and sign an experienced guy that's just sitting on the sidelines, sitting at his couch waiting for the phone call. But obviously, after the play last week of Whiteside and and Harper and our practice squad secondary, the Legion of Whom. The Legion of Whom is here, and it looks like the Legion of Whom is here to stay with the release of Kendall Fuller. That definitely signals that you don't release guys like that. And it's a beautiful thing. It's the sign that Deshae Townsend is doing a great job with these cornerbacks. And we got some guys coming back. That's the other thing. Before we get into the trade deadline talks, Central Scrutinizer, Whiteside is only 25 years old. Whiteside is somebody that is a walk-on. He's like a UDFA like me. Just working hard. Tried to make the NFL last year. Ended up having to go to the USFL. Go there. Couldn't make it. And now he's worked his way. It's a walk-on. And here we are. You got Brad Holmes releasing Kendall Fuller. And I think it's due to the play of the Legion of Whom, just like the bad guy says.
Say hello to my little friend.
And the thing is, it's not the Legion of Whom anymore. They all made their name. That's how you make your name. Kelvin Sheppard challenged them. Hey, here's your move. Hey, why aren't they going to play Rock Ya-Sin back at safety? Well, because that would be disrespectful to the guys that have been working hard. The guys that have been gritting and grinding. And Whiteside was one of those guys. So, in other news, we got Kelvin Sheppard and his job as defensive coordinator. That job may be a little less secure than we originally thought. LSU goes out and they fire Brian Kelly, and LSU may come calling for our defensive coordinator. What's up, Chuck?
You just made the list.
Good to see you on here, buddy. We're talking about Kelvin Sheppard. Kelvin Sheppard's doing a phenomenal job with this defense. And the villain's not really surprised about this. I'm not really all that surprised because he got it's almost like it was his birthright in here. You know, he grew up right here. He played here. You know, he was just a scrappy trainer guy, a linebackers coach, first assistant linebacker coach, then he's a linebacker coach. Now he's promoted. So he's grew up from within here. And he's worked his way up to defensive coordinator, and now it's out there. It's out there. The word is out. The word is on the street. He'll get head coaching opportunities next year. But that's the downside to, developing guys. Now, honestly, the villain doesn't think that he's going to leave. I think that he really appreciates where he's came from here. I think he really appreciates a coach like Dan Campbell that lets him be himself. You know, actually going to Dan Campbell says, "Hey, man, you think I should cut the dreads?" It's like, hell no, you shouldn't cut the dreads. The dreads are awesome. I mean, he looks like he could go out there and play. He could still play. He probably could. But he's a damn good coach. Damn good coach. And he's doing a great job. And I just thought that he was going to do well. The villain just had the feeling that he was going to do really well. I mean, because you have progressing players that are, starting to enter their prime. And that's the beautiful thing about the team, where if you're a fan, this is the good part that you appreciate, is that Brad Holmes has done a great job at drafting guys, and they're starting to all develop. And as they go through their prime, we're going to experience something here in Detroit that we've never really experienced as a Lions team. Is we got a lot of great players that are going to go through their entire prime right here in Detroit. Amon-Ra St. Brown. And Goff, with the way that he plays quarterback, I think that he's right in the middle of his prime. You don't get a downslide with quarterbacks in their 30s when they don't run. And Goff has never been a runner. And you've seen how pocket quarterbacks, they got longevity. And I think that Goff's got 5-6 years of however well he's going to be playing, at least. Goff, Amon-Ra, Penei Sewell. Both of those guards that we got. Jahmyr Gibbs, Sam Laporta, Jack Campbell, Aiden Hutchinson. Like, all of these guys, we get to witness the prime of. Now, will that lead to championships? I don't know. I hope so. But we got some great players that we get to witness through their entire prime. And that's pretty cool. And Kelvin Sheppard is the beneficiary of a lot of guys that are just about ready to enter their prime. Aaron Glenn coached these guys up, and got them ready to have this breakout season. So I think Kelvin Sheppard is a damn good coach. But I do believe a lot of that is these great players are starting to become elite players. You know, Jack Campbell, you got the best version of Jack Campbell that's ever been. A better version of Jack Campbell than Aaron Glenn ever saw. You got a better version of Aiden Hutchinson that Aaron Glenn ever saw. You know, same for Kirby Joseph, Brian Branch, all these defenders that are starting to figure it out. Kelvin Sheppard, right place at the right time, man. And he's a damn good coach. So that's why it works. But LSU's going to come calling. So what do you think? Do you think there's any chance that Kelvin Sheppard jumps ship and goes back to his alma mater? Takes a head coaching job at LSU? I mean, it would hurt my feelings. It really would. But I would understand. You know, where it all got started. But I also would understand why he would stay. And I think that he would stay because he does have loyalty to Dan Campbell. I think he will eventually be a head coach. But I think that he's put himself in a position where he wants to have a dominating defense. And I got some agreements in here. Thank you. Yes. Thank you, Steven.
You like that?
Man, you're going to make me blush up here. Oh, man. The Sheppard noise is not welcome in the D. We have no control of what happens, and I'm not going to worry about it until I need to worry about it. Well, I mean, you can not welcome it or whatever if you don't want to accept it. But the fact of the matter is Brian Kelly got fired from LSU. That's news. Got to report that. And that is Kelvin Sheppard's alma mater. So the question will be asked. And keep in mind, too, Central Scrutinizer, that the reason that we're having this conversation is because Kelvin Sheppard's a damn good coach. So I'm not worried about it. I'm just reporting it. I appreciate it, though. Yeah, Kelvin Sheppard and his personality doesn't reflect that. He would depart the team in the middle of the season, more likely to happen if the wheels happen to come off the locomotive. Is that true? Would he have to quit the Lions in order to take that job? I didn't even think about that. Welcome on to everybody that is just joining the broadcast right here. This is the Lion Villain Report. My name is Russell Wayne, and I'm the undrafted free agent of sports podcasting. I'm just a fan with a microphone, man. I got no corporate sponsorships or anything like that. Even the Fanatics thing, that's just affiliate marketing. So just know that if you use and buy a jersey from that, for one, it's going to cost you a little bit less because I know that they'll run a deal through that link and they'll get at least 25% off of your order. And two, it supports the page. You know, I got to pay for StreamYard. You know, I got to pay for my designing tools and, you know, and put the work in here. And, you know, all that stuff it's cool. So anybody that buys a jersey, you're helping me pay for that stuff. It's actually not free for me to come on here. But I appreciate that. Mark Orlando says that Shep is self-aware, very self-aware. I honestly think he would feel he's ready, or no, he would feel that he is ready for that yet. I think that you mean that he's not ready for that yet. Yeah, he just became a defensive coordinator, and really, at his age, I mean, he could still be playing. I mean, I don't even know how old he is. I think he's still in his 30s. Kelvin Sheppard. Have to check that out. I'm glad that you guys like this topic because this is intriguing, to say the least. Yeah, he's only 37 years old. He's young enough to be playing in the league. So, I mean, I'll say the same thing about Kelvin Sheppard that I said about Ben Johnson. A young player like him, it's like you don't got to go take that job. He didn't have to go take that Bears job. That head coaching job is going to be there for you. And that's where I think that he really messed up. I mean, unless this really works out, I mean, it could work out in Chicago and then he'd be laughing at us. But if it doesn't work out in Chicago, you got to think maybe you jumped ship a little bit too early because you ain't even in your 40s yet. Those head coaching opportunities are going to be there for you, especially if you're running this offense. You know, John Morton knows that. You ain't got to do anything except let Jared Goff run the offense, honestly. I think John Morton's got the easiest job ever. As soon as those offensive linemen, really start feeling it, and I think they still got it. They're a couple weeks out. It's like they're so close to being able to, play at that elite level. Steve says he don't care about Brian Kelly. I know I don't. Who cares about Brian Kelly? Well, Lion fans care about Brian Kelly. I know that none of the Lion fans care about the Packers. So just remember you're watching a Lion show, Steve. No, we care about Brian Kelly because he got fired from LSU, and LSU is Kelvin Sheppard's alma mater. So they may come calling. They may come calling for Kelvin Sheppard to be the head coach of LSU. And he'll consider the job. I mean, he'll probably take some interviews this year. Now, that doesn't mean he's going to take it, but that when you're building a resume, just because you're taking interviews, it doesn't mean that you're going to go do the job. But I think that he'll take some interviews this year. I mean, he's already made an impact on the defense. I like this.
You like that?
Okay, yeah. Central Scrutinizer, you're ready to change the subject, and so am I. So let's move it on here. Let's get into the injury stuff right here. Lions has some injury guys coming back. That's the cool thing. Like, my injury update doesn't have anything to do with injured guys and guys that are going to IR. This injury update has everything to do with the guys that are coming back from IR. Malcolm Rodriguez, linebacker, tore his ACL last Thanksgiving. First practice since the injury. You got to like that.
You like that?
I do. Thanks, Kirk. Expected to be back by week 11 versus the Eagles. The Lions like to bring guys back a little bit slow. Dan Campbell says that they're going to ease him in, but they love his leadership and they love his energy. So Malcolm Rodriguez is going to be back in the fold here soon. And he's awesome. I love Malcolm Rodriguez. One of my favorite things and memories about Malcolm Rodriguez is right there on the Hard Knocks when Kelvin Sheppard was calling out all the other linebackers when he was a rookie. Saying, you're going to let a rookie? You're going to let a rookie? Man, I should go find that. I should go find that and play that for you. Because I know I just put that bad boy up. Let's see if I can find that. You gonna let a rookie watch Rodriguez? That's what he says. Let me get this up. Hold on 1 second. I apologize for a second, but this won't take too long. I mean, you gotta love Malcolm Rodriguez. Here's a guy that comes in as a 6th-round draft pick and takes the starting job. I mean, and Derek Barnes was in that room too, so that's something else, man. Malcolm Rodriguez definitely made himself an impact. But here it is right here. So check this out. This is such a good clip right here. Get it up there. Get in there. All right, here it is.
Rodriguez. Watch Rodriguez. I'm sick of saying this about a rookie. What y'all want me to do, put him out there first? Because that's what's about to happen. And this ain't nothing against you, Rodriguez. Not a thing playing your ass off, dude, but it's a rookie who I'm doing everything I can not to put out here first. I'm sick of saying it. He's in the same drills y'all are in. Step 2, pull the lineman off. As soon as he come off, rock back, the ball gonna be there. Keep playing your ass off, dude. And he's gonna continue to climb the depth chart until somebody decides, I'm not gonna let this rookie take my job. He ain't the 1st-round pick. He ain't the 2nd-round pick. He ain't the 3rd-round pick. He ain't the 4th-round pick. What round did you go?
Group 6.
Now, if he's the better guy, he's the better guy. Ain't nothing wrong with that. But it's the fact that he's doing it right.
Oh, man. I love that, dude. I'm getting sick of saying this about a rookie. I'm getting sick of saying this about a rookie. You want me to put him out there? Well, if he's the better guy, he's the better guy. I love it. It's good stuff, man. You could see, you could see from, and this was in 2022. The year that Malcolm Rodriguez was drafted. 2022, and you could see that Kelvin Sheppard was going to be a leader. So that's awesome. We got Malcolm Rodriguez coming back. Daniel Thomas is coming back. He had a broken forearm in week 3 versus the Ravens. Had surgery, but ready to resume full activity. He's big on special teams, especially as a gunner. The Lions missed him there. His return could stabilize the depth behind the starters. So that's good stuff. Terrion Arnold. Limited until now. He'll be fully padded this week. Campbell said he feels good. And we'll get a really good look at him. Even a bigger role in coverage, responsibilities increased. They're going to expect a lot out of Terrion Arnold going forward. And I bet you that Terrion Arnold was watching Mick Whiteside, and he was watching those other cornerbacks ball out. And hopefully he learned something. I hope that he learned something, because sometimes it's not all just the athletic ability. So we got these guys coming back from injuries. What else do we got in there? We got some guys that are in the conversation. We're going to get updates on these guys like Kirby Joseph, Taylor Decker, Sion Vaki, Marcus Davenport, Josh Pascal, Anthony Maddox, and 5th-round draft pick Miles Frazier. And all of these guys, adding depth and support to what we got. So help is on the way. The Cavalry's loading up for the second half of the season. And the defensive depth is looking a whole hell of a lot meaner. So What do you think about the injuries, man? I mean, for once, I'm coming on here. I'm so used to almost in like a PTSD, like from last year, man. Like all of these injuries, I'm so used to coming on here and just having to tell you guys about all of these awful things that are happening with the team. Your little post-traumatic same old Lions happening with it, but no, not today. Not today. Today, we got the positive coming back. We got Malcolm Rodriguez coming back. You know, Josh Pascal is going to be coming back. And, you know, these guys are just depth pieces behind our guys, but they're important depth pieces. Malcolm Rodriguez played lights out. He might have been one of our, I mean, he might be better than a couple of the starters that are out there, depending on who you talk to. I mean, he played out of his mind last year before he got injured. I think that his PFF grade was like in the high 80s. He played phenomenal last year. And don't forget that we still got the Big Mac is back. You know, you had Aleem McNeil, 2 all-beef patties, special sauce, lettuce, cheese, pickles, and onions. And these buns have seeds. And these buns had 2 extra weeks after he returned from his injury. So the Big Mac is going to be loaded and ready to go. So that's good news. Good news. Ain't it good for your soul? Good news. Yeah. Yep, a central scrutinizer. This is a good point right here. Rodrigo is like Brian Branch. He can play multiple positions. And he can. He was actually a safety his first couple years in college, I believe. So, that's good. Yeah, he's very versatile. He's good in coverage. And honestly, it's like, I love you, Alex Anzalone, but you can see the way that they're building this team. You know, you can see the plan. You know, what's going to happen after Alex Anzalone leaves? Well, I think they're going to re-sign Malcolm Rodriguez to the deal. And I think they'll get a good deal on Malcolm Rodriguez. And he's going to replace Alex Anzalone as the starting guys. And these are the good signs. These are the good signs. It's like we're set right now because we have both of them. But as we get to the end of this year, you know, they gave Alex Anzalone a nice big fat bonus, like $500,000 or something like that at the beginning of the season. And his contract's going to expire. And I think that the Lions know that they're probably not going to bring him back. And it's not a personal thing. It's just drafting and developing. Because now that you've paid some of these other guys, you have to be younger at these other spots. You got to be able to pay less. They say you can't pay everybody. That is true, but you can shuffle around to make sure that you're not paying for guys that are leaving their prime, that you're only extending the guys that are young enough that you can, you know, get them through years of their prime. So, I lost my spot on here on the comments, guys. I'm sorry. Mark, you're Flint born. That's my, hey, I love my Flint. That's right. I'm in Flint right now. I live in Flint. I own a house here in Flint, Michigan. Good to see it. Yep. Good morning, Jill.
You just made the list!
Glad to see you on here. What up, Steve?
You just made the list!
Glad to see you on here. All right. Ken Fisher says, I'd still like to see if we look at the bottom feeder teams in the NFL and find us another defensive end. Yeah, you're going to transition us real nice right there. Thank you, Ken. I appreciate that because that's the next thing that's on the list is it's the trade deadline. You know, and I've tried to do my best because I know that every 5 minutes it seems like they come out with, oh, man, here, well, the Lions could trade for Myles Garrett. Lions trade for, like, I mean, when it comes to the off season, you know, there's nothing to talk about. But here we are. This is what I would call realistic trade talks here. Because now we are in a week-long deal right here where anything is really possible. So if you're out there and you're like, stop talking about trades, it's like, no, you can stop whining about people talking about trades because this is a week where it's actually relevant. You got 1 week and the trade deadline is going to be here. It's like, I believe it's November 4th. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I believe it's November 4th is going to be the trade deadline. And after this weekend's game, people may be unloading guys. And Brad Holmes sits there with his hands. Excellent. This is where Brad Holmes gets his meat and potatoes. This is where he got Zadarius Smith last year. You know, he does make moves at the deadlines. He usually makes moves at the deadlines. It just usually isn't the move that you want. But he does make moves. He's usually aggressive at the deadline and makes some things happen. He does trade for players. And as much as everybody thinks that they need to trade for a cornerback, I don't agree with that at all. The trade deadlines, Detroit on the hunt for help, likely an edge rusher. Possibly secondary spots, but I don't see the secondary. I don't see them going after secondary guys. I think they like what they've seen. They wouldn't have released Kendall Fuller if they were that worried about the secondary. I think they like their young depth. I don't see them trading draft picks to get a secondary guy. Now, an edge rusher, couple of them that are out there that could be available. And I'm going back to the Hendrickson thing. Trey Hendrickson. To me, Trey Hendrickson is probably the most likely awesome guy that they could get. There's a couple of reasons why. For one, the Bengals are sitting at 3-5 right now, and they traded for Joe Flacco because they thought that maybe they could get back into the hunt a little bit. Then they get a victory over the Steelers. And then they dropped this last one to the Jets. So this Sunday's game may, like, if they lose to the Chicago Bears, the Bengals could possibly unload him. He's in the last year of his deal. Because remember, I think they just gave him a whole bunch of money for this year. If I got his contract right, let me check this out and make sure I'm not talking out of the side of my mouth, but I'm pretty sure that I read that. His contract. I'll do over the cap. Over the cap for the Bengals, over the cap. Let's go find and see what they're paying him. But I believe that he is going to be an available type of guy. Where the hell are the Bengals? Oh, you butthole. God. Gosh. Why don't you guys put this crap in alphabetical order, guys? There you are. There you go, Bengals. Trey Hendrickson. Yes. All they did with Trey Hendrickson's contract was give him a bunch of money this year. So if the Lions did trade for a player or another team trades for Trey Hendrickson, you're only getting him for this year. And this to me is the most likely scenario for the Lions, because the Lions are, I mean, I don't know if they want to get a guy like the Packers got Parsons and then have him, you know, we want to sign Aiden Hutchinson to a long-term deal. And I don't think that we're going to double down on that. So we could bring in Trey Hendrickson, have him come in just for the rest of the season, and we would be done with the obligation. And it probably wouldn't cost that much. Now, he's a talented player, so obviously it would cost something. But getting a first-round pick out of Trey Hendrickson, that's just not going to happen. Even a second-round pick. I think that you might even be able to get him for a third-round pick at that point, especially with a desperate team that's 3-6. So go Bears. I'm going to say go Bears. I want the Bears to beat the Bengals because I want them to trade Trey Hendrickson on the last year of his deal. You'd only have to pay for half of his salary. And the Bengals could probably try to sweeten the pot. They might even pick up some extra parts of the salary to get a better draft pick. And I would pay a second-round draft pick for a rental of Trey Hendrickson's to win the Super Bowl. Let me ask you that. Would you pay a second-round pick if it didn't cost all that much to go get Trey Hendrickson? The other part of it is that Trey Hendrickson left in the second quarter of Sunday's game with a hip injury, which means that's probably even more attractive for Brad Holmes. Brad Holmes is like, what? Oh, we don't want Trey Hendrickson. Oh, he's injured? Oh, well, Brad Holmes been out there wheeling and dealing. Oh, man. Let's see. So what do you think? Trade deadline. Who's on the top of your list? I actually believe that Trey Hendrickson would be the most logical trade that the Lions could make. And go after him last year of his deal. You got no long-term commitment. You're trying to win this year. That would be the one for me. But that's all going to depend. That's all going to depend. I mean, you have to have two willing partners. And if they lose to the Bears this week, I do believe that Trey Hendrickson could become available. And, you know, especially if you have to trade for him and then wait for him to come back from a hip injury. But I don't give a crap as long as he's ready for the playoffs, because that's what we're trying to do. We're trying to win the Super Bowl, right? There's nothing else that's acceptable to a Lions fan at this point. Get to the Super Bowl and lose? No, you got to get it done, man. You got to get it done. You know? So, could the Bengals actually unload him? Let me know what you think of that in the comments. Maybe I'm just crazy about this. Yep, Joseph is feeling a veteran offensive tackle. I like that. You like that? You could do that. I don't mind that at all. Central says, I don't think that they'll go after an edge. And I agree with you, Central Scrutinizer. I agree with you on that. We do agree on that. But I do believe if Trey Hendrickson became available, that would be a different story. I don't think they're going to go after any of these other edges that are out there. Yep. And that was the thing. He just left that last thing with an injury, just like Steve says right here.
You've had enough of that shit.
So that's a question mark. But and you know Brad Holmes, he loves those injured guys, man. Get both of them out there. 2 injured guys makes 1 healthy guy, right? Oh, man. The bad guy says, come on now. The only reason we went out last year at the deadline is because Hutch got hurt. I mean, that could be true. That could be true. But, I mean, I think that Hendrickson is going to become available. You know, Brad Holmes says that he's always trying to go out and upgrade the team. And Steve, another comment to your injury comment. Hendrickson might be, you know, injured due to the fact that they might trade him. You know, sometimes they leave with their little injuries, get them off the field. Oh, my foot hurts. And then they get traded, and then all of a sudden it's good. I mean, don't you remember? Micah Parsons got a bad back, right? Micah Parsons, you shouldn't trade for Micah Parsons. He's injured right now. And then he gets to the Packers, and they're like, oh, man, my back's not feeling too bad anymore. Man, I got a little stretch in there. Went to the chiropractor. Feeling pretty good now. Got 47 million reasons to feel good. Let's see. Hendrickson would be a great rental if it were going to happen. So I just want you to know, this is not my style. If you're watching the show for the first time, welcome, for one. And I appreciate you jumping on here today. My name is Russell Wayne. I'm the villain, and I'm the 313 villain, the UDFA of sports podcasting. I'm a fan with a microphone, and I don't normally just talk about trades. You can ask anybody in the comments if you're brand new. I don't talk about this. This isn't. So don't tell me to be quiet and stop talking about the trades, because this is the most realistic week that we are going to talk about trades. I want to talk about trades on this week because there's 1 week into the trade deadline, and we've seen the craziest things happen at trade deadlines before. And I'm happy with Al-Quadin Muhammad. I think he's doing a fantastic job. He's a top 15 edge rusher on the opposite of Hutchinson. You got Josh Pascal coming back as depth that you could rotate in and out of there. You got Aleem McNeil back. So I don't see a huge need for an edge rusher, but you're always trying to make the team better. And if you can get a guy that's super talented, then I don't see the Lions not trying to do that. And Paul agree, and you agree with me, Paul. Man, thank you, Broski. I'm trying to find where Broski would comment on this trade type of thing, because you know what I need, Broski? I need you to go over to the practice field, and I need you to talk to Ben Johnson, and I need you to tell Ben Johnson that you got to beat the hell out of these Bengals this week, okay? I need you to do me a solid, broski. I need you to go, and you need to talk to Ben Johnson, have him put a whooping on these Bengals. I mean, do a beat down. Do a good, nice, beat them down good. Like, take all of the confidence away from them so that they get into sell mode to where we can go poach some of their really good players. Can you do that for me, broski?
You like that?
Can you do that for me? That would be fun. The bad guy says, Russ, you're one of my favorite YouTubers, man, but you got faith that Trey Hendrickson is going to happen. I don't have faith. Gosh, man, you don't listen to me, man. You don't listen to me. I don't have faith in it. I just said it's the most likely trade. If Brad's going to trade for a high-end guy, it's going to be a guy like Trey Hendrickson. You're not getting Myles Garrett. You're not getting Max Crosby. You know why? Because they have multi-year deals where it's like $40+ million a year. That's why those won't happen. The only reason I think that this has a chance to happen is because he's on the last year of his deal. And him being on the last year of his deal, that makes it intriguing for Brad Holmes. That's the way Brad Holmes thinks. You're not trying to, tie up the money long term. It's obviously very important that we sign our own guys. So I don't want you to think that I'm fully endorsing this move. Like this is like, if I gave this a probability, if I would give this a probability, I'd say maybe 15%. There's maybe a 15% chance that Brad Holmes would go out and trade for Trey Hendrickson. But the deal would have to be right. I just don't think they're going to overpay. I think if you see the deal happen, it would be something like Hendrickson would go for like a 4th-round pick. I mean, it would have to be a stinky good deal. But make a t-shirt that says Russ and I'm rocked up for Hendo. Are you man, when I make topics up for this, it's just it's something that we can all talk about, and I like to have things that might have a chance of happening. And so it doesn't seem like anybody is really thinking, because I'm going back through these comments right here. And so if nobody thinks that the Lions are going to trade for Trey Hendrickson, do you think that the Lions are going to make a trade at all? And I think there's a good chance that they make a trade. I think it's over 40% that they make a trade. They'll make a trade. They make a trade every year. Like I said, sometimes it isn't the trade that you want, but they trade every year. Brad Holmes has made a trade every year and gotten somebody. The year before was Donovan Peoples-Jones. Everybody was pumped up about that. During the offseason, we traded for Carlton Davis. So it's not like Brad Holmes usually makes a trade every year. Some type of trade. But Brad Holmes hasn't proven that he would ever trade for somebody significant. Like Zadarius Smith, I guess you could call that a significant trade. But that's when everybody else is talking about, go get Myles Garrett, go get, because he was on the last year of his deal. Myles Garrett was way more feasible last year, but they just weren't going to get rid of him. And then they paid him. Like, Brad Holmes is going to look at a guy that is going to be gone next year. They're not looking to trade for an outside guy, bring him in, and just have him, take over that spot on the roster long term. They're not going to do that. Another guy that was available would be Jermaine Johnson. So the conversation was surrounding the New York Jets pass rusher Jermaine Johnson. It's similar to the chatter that they had around Phillips. The Jets are having a bad season. and they could be looking to offload some of their tradable talent. Well, they just won their game for one. And Johnson is under contract through the 2026 season, which means that whatever team that would trade for him would probably have to pay more. They would probably have to pay more than Hendrickson. And I don't see those, but that's another guy that was on that list of possible trade candidates. I really don't think that they're going to trade for a cornerback now. I mean, why would they trade for a cornerback and then get rid of Kendall Fuller? You know, you already had a veteran on your practice. You released him from the practice squad. I think they believe in their secondary. I really think they believe in the pass rushing room too. That's why I'm saying the only way that they would really make a trade would be like, you know, if somebody came available for very cheap. You know, if you could rake them and they're trying to get out the salary dump. And for once, Trey Hendrickson to me is the most feasible trade target that there is, but it's not even high. You know, as far as a high-end trade target. Now, I do believe at the very least they're going to go out and they're going to trade for somebody that we might not know. So, Broski says that the Bears' defense is soft. Caleb is a huge bust. Start Bagent. Damn. Broski is going to war. He don't like Caleb Williams. Gosh, the guy's got some talent, man. Caleb Williams has got some talent. I'm glad I'm here for your amusement, bad guy. I'm sorry I'm out here and I just have the balls. I have the balls to go out there and report the stuff that's been all over the national media for the last few days. I'm glad that you're amused with that. Maybe you should consider talking about the same thing on your show. The Bad Guys show could talk about the trade deadline stuff because a trade deadline is coming. And if there is going to be a time to talk about trades, it would be on the week of the trade deadline. So I think that what I am doing here today is very responsible as a journalist and a person that is here to talk about football. Because over the next week, that is going to dominate the airwaves of all of sports media. The trade deadline is going to happen. They've had some crazy shit that's happened at the trade deadline that nobody would have ever thought would have happened. So that part of it is exciting. It may not happen for the Lions, but I guarantee somebody's going to go out there and they're going to either overpay. Some huge name is going to move teams. And if not, I'll be disappointed. You know? I'll be disappointed.
You've had enough of that shit.
If somebody doesn't trade for somebody big, we need a good big sports headline. And that doesn't really seem like it's a Brad Holmes thing, does it? So, let's move on. The stories. The big stories. So, the offensive blueprint. What are we going to do? Let's look at this game coming up a little bit. What time is it? What do I got? Do I got time? Whatever. Let's talk a little bit about the game. So we got J.J. McCarthy most likely starting. Anybody worried about J.J. McCarthy? I'm not going to worry about J.J. McCarthy until J.J. McCarthy does something to make me worry. And if you expect that I'm supposed to worry about J.J. McCarthy because he played one good quarter against a bad Bears team, then forget about it. You got to do something first. Because there's been plenty of guys that have came into the NFL that have won a national championship that ain't done shit in the NFL. So McCarthy, if you want to prove that you're somebody that I got to worry about, then do something. You had one good quarter against a bad team. Other than that, you've been injured and you haven't been very good. You weren't even very good in the first 3 quarters of that game. Then you had your one good quarter, then you came back and stunk it up the next week. I don't think that J.J. McCarthy is as good as Carson Wentz, and Carson Wentz ain't good. So I think that the Lions should roll in this game. I don't know what the point spread is on this game for the Lions against the Vikings. It was at 8.5 points. The last I checked, it might even be more now. Maybe it'll go up to 10. I don't think that the Vikings have any chance in this game. The Lions need to go take care of business. They need to take care of business at home. They're coming off of a bye week. You got injured guys back. Mark Orlando says it's still at 8.5. I'm not worried about J.J. McCarthy. I don't care. I don't care about the hype. I don't care that he tough looked at the Chicago Bears after he came all the way back. I mean, we should dominate this game. If we don't dominate this game, then I'm going to be on here on Monday, and I'm going to have to answer to it. You know, what are you going to do? Hey, Steve, I got something for you, buddy, because you were the one that was thinking that Penei Sewell should join the bloodline, weren't you? You see, you get all these people out there talking, Steve. You get all these people out there talking, and then all of a sudden, we got to worry about this because of you, Steve.
Hey, yo, Penei, I've been watching you, Oos. You out there in them trenches, bulldozing grown men every Sunday like it's personal. I respect that, bro. But all this NFL nonsense, all this Lions grind, it's time to come home, big dog. It's time to bring the family back together. Roman Reigns, the tribal chief himself, he sees what you're doing, and he respects it. But he also knows what's missing, Penei. You. The bloodline ain't complete without you, Oos. You bring that power, that mauling spirit, that island pride. Imagine it. The Samoan wall reunited. Forget blocking edge rushers, bro. Let's start blocking out the whole world together. Leave this NFL crap and come back to the bloodline. Make everything right again. Do it for the family.
You see where you started, Steve? Damn you, Scuba Steve. Scuba Steve out here making all kinds of trouble for our Detroit Lions. How dare you? No, man, I think that the Lions are going to go in there and take care of business. You know, you can drop your early predictions. I'll be talking about this game all this week. We've been on the bye. We're thirsty for some football talk. But drop your early predictions into the comments for the Lions-Vikings. Broski, you can drop your comment in there for how you think that the Bears are going to do against the Bengals. There you go, Central.
Acknowledge me.
Oh, well, that's going to conclude my show for today. I appreciate everybody jumping on here today and being part of the show. This show is brought to you by fanatics.com. That's right. That's our affiliate marketing partner. If you want to gear up like the real one, get out there and use that. Use this QR code, man. I like that. You can save up to 25% off of your order from our official merch partner at Fanatics. We don't do fakes. We don't do knockoffs. We do official. We do Fanatics. Get yours. And connect with us. Connect with us. I am the villain. I am the 3-1 villain, the 313 villain, the UDFA of sports podcasting. And you can connect with me. If you're a fan of Detroit sports, man, that's automatic. And even if you're one of the rival fans like Steve or Broski, that's all right. We still have fun on here. We have fun with each other. We get in rivalry weeks and we do it. So, YouTube, Facebook, and X, that's where we're broadcasting live right now, but we're also on TikTok. We're also on Instagram, wherever you scroll, the villain rolls. So I appreciate everybody coming on here for today. It's faith, family, and then football, in that order. We use football, spend time with our family, and create memories. We don't let football use us. And may the Lord bless you. May the Lord keep you. May the Lord shine his face upon you until we meet again in Jesus' name. Amen. God bless you guys. I'll see you for the Hump Day show tomorrow. Peace out.
Let me tell you something, Daddy. The Minnesota Vikings can trot out Carson Wentz. They can trot out young J.J. McCarthy. They can trot out Joe Montana's ghost if they want to, but it ain't gonna matter, baby. Because when that Honolulu Blue freight train gets rolling, there ain't no stopping it, if you will. Justin Jefferson, the shiny diamond of Minnesota, about to get clamped down again by my man Amik Robertson. The man don't just talk that talk, Daddy. He walks it, struts it, and styles it with that swagger from the Motor City. And Jared Goff, oh, he's got full ownership, baby. Full ownership of that Brad Flores defense. He's playing chess while they're out there still learning checkers, if you know what I'm saying. The Detroit Lions are rolling like a Cadillac with chrome wheels and a championship engine. And Daddy, the road to the NFC North runs straight through Motown.